There are only 3 days left until the traditional Tet holidays, but the son of Mr. Lo Van Ban and Mrs. Lo T Trung is still not at home to celebrate Tet with his family as he promised when he left home to work far away. Mr. and Mrs. Ban also tried many times to contact their son by phone, but they were unsuccessful. In the following days, they still did not see his son return. Ban's family experienced a gloomy Tet, worried and sad for their son who had to seek food in a foreign land. At 11:10 on February 6, 2017, the 9th day of the year of the rooster, a resident during work discovered a dead body buried under a pile of bricks.
While working, I detected a strong stench. I just took a shovel to check that place. I saw the dead man's body exposed in the upper part of the pile of bricks, so I took a shovel and dug out the bricks. After digging through 4 or 5 bricks, I discovered the dead man's legs. I ran into the residential area and informed them. They gave me the phone number of the commune police. I called the police. After 30 minutes, they arrived at the scene. A pile of bricks is next to an unfinished wall. In this pile of bricks there is a dead body. At that time, I determined that this was a murder. I reported to my boss, then reported to PC45 of the Sun La Provincial Police.
The Criminal Police Department of Sun La Provincial Police coordinated with the Criminal Technical Department and the Provincial People's Procuracy to quickly go to the scene to clarify the incident. Back to Mr. Lo Van Ban's family. It's been a few days since Tet, but there's still no news about their son. Mr. Ban decided to notify the commune police, hoping to help find his son who had not been heard from for many days. However, with little information provided by the family, the search was extremely difficult. But after only a few nights, the investigation agency arrived at Nakhon Sin village, Sun La City, where people discovered the body. Preliminary observations showed that the corpse was close to the wall, head turned to the west, legs stretched out to the east. Above the corpse are many bricks. The corpse was wearing a leather bag around its neck. The leather bag was in an open state. Checking inside, discovered an unused shirt and vest. In addition, an amount of Vietnamese money, a foreign currency note, for phone SIM cards, a memory card, a phone battery charger, and a business card of Hai Thin Bus Company, Sun La Lao Kai Route, were also discovered, a business card of Tran Lin Car Company with the address Nam T, Lao Kai City. Around the body, a plastic bag was also found containing a Chinese-made karaoke machine and a phone case. To the east of the body's feet, many brown stains appeared on the brick wall, suspected to be dried blood.
When we arrived at the scene, the body was badly decomposed. On the left chest there is a sharp cut, 4.5 centimeters long, moving from the outside to the inside and penetrating into the left chest. On the right back there is also a sharp cut, from the outside to the inside. Those are the 2 traces that we examined were the cause of the victim's death. At first, the whereabouts of the person could not be determined. We only know that he was male, around the age of 30. When conducting an autopsy, many parts were decomposed, such as the face, neck, chest, and abdomen, decomposing to reveal some bones. During the examination of the finger identifier, out of 10 fingers, only 3 fingers belonging to the left hand have all the elements for assessment. We brought it back to our office, and searched the archives to find the victim's whereabouts. While the Criminal Engineering Department is conducting testing, Sun La City Police have deployed many working groups to quickly verify the victim's whereabouts.
While the Criminal Engineering Department is conducting testing, Sun La City Police have deployed many working groups to quickly verify the victims' whereabouts. In the city, they approached households living around the scene to get information about the victim. Autopsy results showed that all of the victim's chest and abdominal organs had decomposed. Based on traces on the victim's body, the investigation agency determined that the victim died 10 to 15 days before the assessment. So the murder happened before the Lunar New Year of the rooster.
In this area, the population lives entirely in boarding houses. These motels are rented to students of Northwestern University. But the students have all returned their home for Tet holiday. Therefore, searching and recording testimonies to find the victim's whereabouts and see if anyone knew about the incident during this time was almost a dead end.
In addition to fingerprints, criminal scientists also confiscated 2 of the victim's teeth to help identify him. The biggest goal of the police investigation agency of Sun La Province is to quickly find the whereabouts of the victim. Because only then we can answer the next questions, such as who is the perpetrator? What is the purpose of committing murder?
After the examination council discussed and also gave many opinions, agreed that we should focus more on personal and economic conflicts.
While the professional units were searching the identity card archives to find the victim's whereabouts, the police investigation agency of Sun La Province also quickly organized a meeting with the participation of the police and relevant departments to synthesize, analyze, and evaluate documents and evidence collected at the scene as well as on the victim's body, to answer the question, who is the victim? The investigating agency paid special attention to the phone memory card found in the leather bag slung across the body of the body.
We confiscated a memory card, and later determined that it was in Thai language. They spoke to each other in Thai. We have analyzed and found that this is Thai language from the Dien Bien and Can Dien regions.
The search for fingerprints in the ID card archive of the Sun La Provincial Police has not yet yielded results. At this time, the investigation agency decided to ask Dien Bien Province Police to help look up fingerprints of young men between the ages of 20 and 30, living in Tuan Chau district. The results of searching citizen identification archives of Dien Bien Province Police showed that 3 fingerprints seized from the corpse matched the fingerprints of a citizen named Lo Van Duyen, born in 1989, residing in Run Village, Cheng Sin Commune, Tuan Chau District, Dien Bien Province. He is the son of Mr. Lo Van Ban and Mrs. Lo T. Trung. Immediately, the police went to Mr. Lo Van Ban's house to find out information, and then took blood samples for DNA analysis to determine parentage. DNA analysis results from blood samples and 2 teeth collected from the corpse showed that Mr. Lo Van Ban and the young man who died in the area behind Sun La City bus station had the same bloodline. With this scientific evidence, it can be confirmed that the victim is Lo Van Duyen, residing in Run Village, Cheng Sin Commune, Tuan Chau District, Dien Bien Province. Information from the victim's family said that in February 2016, Lo Van Duyen crossed the border to China to work as a laborer. In August 2016, Duyen contacted her family only once, announcing that, at the end of the year, he would return home to celebrate Tet. However, during Tet, Duyen did not return and did not contact her family. As for Mr. Ban and his wife, they tried many times to contact their child but failed, due to the geographical distance separation. In addition to the little information mentioned above, there is also a little more about Lo Van Duyen's relationships abroad. Determining the victim's identity has untied the first knot in the case, helping to relieve some of the pressure weighing on the members of the Special Investigation Committee. Once again, the results of the crime scene examination, autopsy, and traces obtained at the scene are included in the study and discussion.
The perpetrator and the victim must be people who know each other as close friends. If they know each other, then they can invite each other to go on the same journey together. And the murderer can only commit murder even just him, not necessarily two people. One person can do it.
Among the evidence seized at the scene, the investigation agency paid special attention to 2 business cards of 2 bus companies with addresses in Lao Cai, and a karaoke player made in China. Immediately, many working groups took on the task of going to Lao Cai to investigate the victim's schedule and relationships. The first group is responsible for approaching bus drivers and assistants on the Lao Cai, Sun La route. The second group took on the task of reviewing all hotels and motels in Lao Cai City, especially establishments near the city bus station. At the same time, the photo of victim Lo Van Duyen was widely published for people to identify and provide information, if any. After many hours of persistently following the area and speeding up the investigation and verification work, the investigation agency finally collected valuable information to solve the case. The owner of a motel on Phan Dinh Phung Street, New Street Ward, Lao Cai City confirmed with the investigation agency that, on the night of January 22, early 23, 2017, that is, December 26, lunar calendar, victim Duyen and the 2 men accompanying him came to rent a room. During the check-in process, the receptionist saw information about a man named Quang with the address, KM 15, Baishuyan District, Hajong Province. Immediately, a working group received the task of moving quickly to Hajong to search for the man named Quang. Returning to the reconnaissance mission, the mission was to check at the bus stations in Sun La and Lao Cai cities. Although the scouts investigated and verified day and night, the results obtained were very limited, because the incident took place a long time ago. Moreover, on the days leading up to Tet, the number of passengers getting on and off the bus is very large. Furthermore, there is no uniformity in schedules. With the help of Baishuyan district authorities, the investigation team quickly approached the man named Quang. Reporting to the investigation agency, this person said he knew Lo Van Duyen when they both worked abroad. On January 22, 2017, the 25th of the 12th lunar month, Quang, Duyen and a friend of Duyen's entered Vietnam via the mainland quota at Lao Cai border gate. Soon after, the 3 of them rented a house on Phan Dinh Phung Street, New Street Ward, Lao Cai City. The next day, Quang took a bus from Lao Cai to Ha Giang, while his friend Duyen took another bus to Sun La. While the working group in Ha Giang continued to search for the man named Quang, in Lao Cai, the scouts approached a driver and was told by this person that the bus he was driving was carrying 2 people, his guests, including someone like victim Lo Van Duyen. 2 people boarded the bus from Lao Cai City and then got off the bus in Sun La City at 4 a.m. on January 24, 2017. Continuing to pursue Quang about the man who was said to have accompanied Duyen to Sun La, Quang declared that he only knew that the man's name was Quiet, from the same hometown as Duyen, but had a wife in my Sun district, Sun La province. The investigation agency immediately sent 2 working groups. One group returned to Tuan Chau district, Dien Bien province, the hometown of victim Lo Van Duyen to search for a man named Quiet. The second group coordinated with my Sun district police to conduct a review of all citizens from Dien Bien who married in my Sun. After many hours of reviewing dozens of subjects, my Sun district police shortened the list and focused on a single subject, Quang Van Quiet, born in 1992, hometown is Phu Ni Commune, Dien Bien Dong district, Dien Bien province. In 2013, Quiet got married and joined his wife's family in Long Quan village, Hat Lot commune, my Sun district, Sun La province.
Chúng tôi lập tức coi như vậy là triệu tập quyết lên để xác định. Thế thì ngay ban đầu là quyết quanh co là quyết về.
We immediately summoned Quiet to confirm. At first, Quiet declared that he was also going to China to work as a laborer, and admitted that he was returning home with Duyen. But when he got back to Lao Cai, because Quiet had few belongings, he jumped on the bus and immediately went back to Sun La. As for Duyen, because he had a lot of belongings, he couldn't run after the bus once it had left the station. So, Duyen had to stay at the bus station. Quiet doesn't know when Duyen will return.
Photos of Quang and Quiet were provided for the driver in Lao Cai to identify. This person said Quiet had many similar characteristics to the young man when he and Lo Van Duyen returned from Lao Cai City to Sun La bus station. After the verification process, the investigation agency concluded that Quang's testimony was completely consistent with actual activities, so he cleared his doubts. All doubts now focus on Quang Van Quiet.
Khi đó thì Quyết nói là Quyết đi ở Lào Cai về Sơn La là ngày 28.
While Quiet declared that he returned from Lao Cai to Sun La on January 28, 2017. When the investigation agency asked Quiet's wife, she said Quiet returned on the 24th. So, from the contradictions in the statements of Quiet and his wife, we focus on the last subject who went with Quiet. We have confiscated images from a surveillance camera of a roadside household, and in coordination with the drivers and assistants of Hai Thin Company, there is enough evidence to identify the subject. Quiet and victim Duyen returned together, not as Quiet testified.
When using the above documents to fight with Quang Van Quiet, he could not explain the inaccuracies in his timetable, so he initially admitted that he had accompanied Lo Van Duyen back from Lao Cai to Sun La.
After a period of struggle, the subject Quiet admitted his crime. After returning to Lao Cai, Quiet and Duyen used drugs together, then went together to Sun La. Returning to Sun La bus station, it was around 4 a.m. on January 24, 2017. There were still remaining drugs brought from Lao Cai, so the two subjects brought them into an unfinished house in Na Can village to use. After using drugs, the two subjects divided the money they earned from China. Due to the division was not fair, between a little and a lot, conflicts arose between them. And I determined that due to greed, Quiet used the knife he had on his pocket to kill his friend, then appropriate his property.
After getting off the bus, Quiet led Duyen to the area behind Sun La bus station to find a quiet place to use drugs and divide the money. During the process of dividing the money, the two people had a conflict, so Quiet used a sharp knife he carried with him and stabbed Duyen many times in the back, chest, and neck, causing Duyen to die on the spot. After that, Quiet took all the money that Duyen was holding, and Duyen's phone as well. To conceal his crime, Quiet used bricks to cover the victim's body. On the way out of the scene, Quiet threw the crime knife and the victim's phone down a roadside drain near Sun La City bus station.
At that time, Duyen and I, after using drugs, argued about money. No, not agreed. After that, Duyen pushed and hit me. At that time, due to anger and confusion, I just took out my knife and stabbed him. When taking testimony, there are certain difficulties. Firstly, the crime was committed only between the perpetrator and the victim, so when reporting, the perpetrator placed all the blame on his victim. The fault is from the victim. However, after being explained, educated and persuaded, defendant Quiet was also clearly aware of his responsibility, and clearly declared his crime.
The investigation agency urgently searched Quang Van Quiet's residence and collected and kept 10,500,000 dongs, the amount Quiet took after killing Duyen. On the same day, Quiet was escorted away to determine the location of the crime scene, where the weapon and the victim's stolen property were hidden.
Bị can nhận tội phù hợp với lại hiện trường, phù hợp với lại tử thi,
The defendant's confession is
và
consistent
đồng
with the
thời tức là
scene,
đã thu được các cái chứng cứ,
the corpse and
như
the
là
evidence
cái,
and exhibits collected,
tang vật là con dao và các cái tài
such
sản
as the knife and the
mà,
property that Quiet
Quyết đã chiếm đoạt.
appropriated.
The Police Investigation Agency of Sun La Province has completed the file, prosecuted the case, and prosecuted defendant Quang Van Quiet with 2 counts of murder and robbery. It's a particularly serious case, causing anger in public opinion. However, with high responsibility and determination, the Criminal Investigation Police of Sun La Province solved, in just a short time, including investigating, clarifying the case, arrested the subject, and confiscated evidence and assets and property of the victim. The outstanding victory has been recognized, appreciated by the Provincial Party Committee and local authorities. And particularly, the trust in the people's police forces is highly increasing in the heart of every people.